Daniel Ellsberg, a former military analyst, leaked a classified government study about U.S. political and military involvement in Vietnam. These documents, later called the Pentagon Papers, revealed that successive administrations had misled the public and Congress about the Vietnam War. The New York Times began publishing excerpts in June of 1971. The Nixon administration sued to stop publication, claiming the release of the papers threatened national security. In court, instead of the Times claiming that the documents weren't classified, they said they were. They conceded. They said they broke the law. But they shifted the discussion to a bigger constitutional question of whether that's a good thing to expose documents so people could see the truth. And they won in the Supreme Court. The First Amendment outweighed the government secrecy claim. Justice Hugo Black wrote, "Only a free and unrestrained press can effectively expose deception in government." In Acts 24, Paul is representing himself against a very clever lawyer for the Sanhedrin named Tertullus. And we're going to see Paul actually make a major strategic concession. Let's see if it pays off. Acts 24, 10-16. When the governor motioned for him to speak, Paul replied, "I know that for a number of years you have been a judge over this nation, so I gladly make my defense. You can easily verify that no more than 12 days ago I went up to Jerusalem to worship. My accusers did not find me arguing with anyone at the temple or stirring up the crowd in the synagogues or anywhere else in the city. And they cannot prove to you the charges they are now making against me. However, I admit that I worship the God of our ancestors as a follower of the way, which they call a sect. I believe everything that is in accordance with the law and that's written in the prophets. And I have the same hope in God as these men themselves have, that there will be a resurrection of both the righteous and the wicked. So I strive always to keep my conscience clear before God and man." One of the most powerful positions in the craft of argumentation is the concession. Verse 14 is the key. He says, "I admit," and proceeds to tell the truth about his Christian associations. It's to admit something, concede, say, "My opponent is correct," and then to say, even though they're correct, it doesn't mean anything. It takes all the wind out of the prosecution's sails. And Paul likewise says, "I admit it, I'm a Christian, but that doesn't mean I've done anything wrong. I didn't start a riot, I didn't desecrate the temple, so my record is clean and my conscience is clear." Now it's important that both are true. In 1 Corinthians 4:4 it says, "My conscience is clear, but that does not make me innocent." In our personal lives we may encounter accusations, but our conscience is clear, but we have to examine, is our record clean? Just because we're Christians doesn't mean we always do the right thing, and that label doesn't protect us in this world. Sometimes we mess up, we sin, we make mistakes, and instead of covering it up or getting defensive or appealing to righteous indignation in the face of quote religious persecution when it's really not, humbly ask yourself, can I own something here? What can I admit to? What can I apologize for? To do what I can on my side to make things right. To imitate Paul's confidence in concession and to know that the scope of our behavior is righteous and continue to live in and share the good news.